You might think you understand drug epidemics, that you've seen it all before. Perhaps you recall the crack epidemic or the opioid crisis that gripped the nation. But the fentanyl crisis shatters every expectation. It's a different beast altogether, more insidious and far-reaching than anything we've encountered. This isn't a distant problem. It's a lethal threat hiding in plain sight, affecting every community. From bustling cities to quiet suburbs, no place is immune. Fentanyl is not just another drug, it's a game changer. It's a slow-motion weapon of mass destruction, more deadly and widespread than anything before. Its synthetic nature makes it incredibly potent and difficult to control. Its victims span all ages, from teenagers experimenting to adults struggling with addiction. It cuts across all socioeconomic and ethnic backgrounds, leaving a trail of shattered lives and grieving families, making it America's deadliest drug crisis. Just a few grains, an amount that could fit on the tip of your finger, can end a life. And its potency and ease of trafficking, often disguised in counterfeit pills or mixed with other drugs, have created a perfect storm. First responders, the frontline defense against this epidemic, are constantly battling to save lives. And families, the bedrock of our society, face this terrifying reality every day, living in fear of losing loved ones. To fight back, to reclaim our communities, we must understand what fentanyl is, how it works, and why it's everywhere. We'll confront the myths, the misinformation that clouds the truth and hinders effective solutions. We'll examine the statistics, the cold, hard numbers that paint a grim picture of the crisis's devastating impact. And we'll explore the pathways to addiction, understanding how individuals become ensnared in fentanyl's grip. This isn't just about information, it's about action, about empowering ourselves and our communities to make a difference. By bringing fentanyl into the light, by exposing its dangers and challenging its presence, we can start to dismantle its power. Let's begin by understanding the invisible killer that's brought us to this critical point, so we can forge a path towards a safer future. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, a powerful pain reliever that has unfortunately become a major player in the ongoing opioid crisis. Its impact is felt across communities, leaving devastation in its wake. It's man-made, not plant-derived like heroin or morphine, which are extracted from the opium poppy. This distinction is crucial because it affects how fentanyl is produced and distributed. Originally developed for managing severe pain, particularly after surgery or for cancer patients, it's incredibly effective in controlled medical settings. However, its potency makes it extremely dangerous outside of those environments. Illicit fentanyl is made in clandestine labs, often operated by cartels, using readily available chemicals sourced from around the world. These labs operate outside the bounds of regulation with no quality control. Its potency, up to 100 times stronger than morphine, means even a tiny amount, a few grains, can be lethal. This extreme potency means tiny amounts can be smuggled easily across borders and sold for huge profits on the street. The ease of concealment and high profit margins fuel its spread. Dealers mix fentanyl into heroin, cocaine, meth, or counterfeit pills, deceptively mimicking prescription drugs to boost potency and profits, often without users' knowledge of the added danger. This widespread contamination has flooded the drug market, creating a landscape of unpredictable and potentially deadly substances. This is turning any illicit drug purchased on the street into a potential death trap, even for those who believe they know what they're taking. Even occasional or first-time users are at high risk of accidental exposure and overdose, as they are often unaware of the presence and potency of fentanyl. The entire supply chain is now tainted, making every single dose a game of Russian roulette, with potentially fatal consequences. Fentanyl's inherent unpredictability and the lack of control over its distribution are the primary reasons why overdose deaths have surged dramatically across America in recent years. Ultimately, no one who uses illicit drugs is truly safe from its reach, highlighting the urgent need for awareness, prevention, and harm reduction strategies. There's a myth that fentanyl offers the ultimate high. The truth? It's a shortcut to tragedy. The high is brief, often followed by overwhelming sedation, confusion, and dangerous respiratory depression. The margin between a high and a fatal dose is razor thin. One miscalculation can mean death. Fentanyl's effects on breathing are swift and severe, causing brain damage or death within minutes. The pursuit of euphoria is really a gamble with your life, with the odds stacked against you. Fentanyl doesn't deliver pleasure. It delivers risk, addiction, and loss. Understanding this reality is vital to dispelling the deadly allure. Don't chase a myth, recognize the danger. Fentanyl has become an invisible menace, silently claiming lives across the nation. Its impact is particularly devastating among young adults. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. This isn't just a statistic, it's a generation at risk. This insidious drug claims more lives, more than car accidents or gun violence. The numbers paint a grim picture, revealing a stark reality that demands immediate attention and action. We must understand the scope of this crisis to combat it effectively. Tens of thousands die each year, and every number is a person, a family, a community changed forever. The grief ripples outwards, leaving scars on the hearts of those left behind. These aren't just numbers, they are mothers, fathers, siblings, and friends. This crisis cuts across all demographics. It doesn't discriminate based on race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. Fentanyl's reach extends into every corner of our society: suburbs, cities, rural towns, and college campuses. From bustling urban centers to quiet rural communities, no place is immune to the threat. Even on college campuses, young people are unknowingly exposed to this deadly substance. Many victims never intended to take fentanyl. It's hidden in counterfeit pills and other drugs. These fake pills often look identical to legitimate medications, making it nearly impossible to distinguish the difference. Any non-prescribed pill or powder could be lethal. The risk is simply too great to take a chance. It's a game of Russian roulette with potentially deadly consequences. The speed of fentanyl's effects is terrifying. Overdose can happen in minutes, leaving little time for help. Every second counts in these critical moments. The rapid progression from use to overdose is what makes fentanyl so incredibly dangerous. Emergency responders are often racing against the clock, battling against the relentless speed of fentanyl's effects. The rapid onset and unpredictability make fentanyl uniquely deadly. Its potency far exceeds that of other opioids, making even a tiny amount potentially fatal. No community is immune, and no one is truly safe. We must remain vigilant and proactive in our efforts to combat this crisis. The silent, swift nature of fentanyl overdoses is what makes it so devastating, leaving families and communities shattered in its wake. Fentanyl addiction can take hold with shocking speed, trapping users in a relentless cycle. The brain quickly adapts, building tolerance and demanding more just to avoid withdrawal. Withdrawal is brutal. Severe pain, vomiting, insomnia, and overwhelming cravings. The physical agony is matched by psychological torment, anxiety, depression, and despair. Many users aren't chasing a high anymore, they're just trying to avoid the misery of withdrawal. This desperate cycle makes quitting incredibly hard without medical help. The fear of withdrawal keeps many trapped in addiction. Recovery requires both medical and psychological support. Understanding this suffering is key to empathy and effective treatment. Accessible detox and long-term support are essential for breaking free. The fentanyl crisis grew from the broader opioid epidemic, fueled by aggressive pharmaceutical marketing and overprescribing. When prescriptions dried up, many turned to illicit drugs, opening the door for fentanyl. Cartels seized the opportunity, mass-producing fentanyl for huge profits and flooding the US market. They mix fentanyl into other drugs, creating a more dependent customer base and increasing risk. Systemic failures, gaps in regulation, lack of treatment resources, and slow public health responses made things worse. Stigma and lack of awareness left many vulnerable. The crisis is complex, with blame shared by corporations, criminals, and broken systems. Only by understanding these roots can we fight back effectively. Comprehensive solutions must address every link in this deadly chain. Despite the crisis, there are real steps we can take to protect ourselves and others. Fentanyl test strips can detect the drug in pills and powders, an essential harm reduction tool. Naloxone, Narcan, can reverse overdoses. Carrying it and knowing how to use it saves lives. Widespread access and training are critical for communities. Open, honest conversations break stigma and spread life-saving information. Schools, families, and organizations must talk about fentanyl's dangers and how to respond. Personal stories of recovery or loss can inspire action and empathy. For those struggling, resources like helplines, treatment centers, and support groups are available. Recovery is possible with the right help and support. Anyone can be at risk. Knowledge, tools, and dialogue are our best defense. Share this information. It could save a life.